this is Katarina from I Was Diagnosed, and we're just driving, and we had this conversation about how, in all my times that I have seen physical therapists and even working with the trainers, nobody seemed to be going after the weak areas in my body. Like, what I mean by that is I have multiple sclerosis, and I specifically can tell, even without evaluation, but what areas need improvement. Like, for example, my ankle I need to be able to have a better support in my ankle, my foot drop, my knee area, then there is the hip joint area. So there is this parts that are clearly not as strong as other parts of my body compared to the left side. And so I don't understand why in the exercises training and they don't go after those areas and customize the exercise to address that first. And we're just like kind of having that conversation, is it because they want to cover the fundamentals and then go after those, or is it because it's not important? Like, to me would be like, what I want to start addressing is my foot drop, my ankle, my hip, and it's like not happening.
They just don't do it. Like, I mean, it's bizarre to me that, like, we've been filming little tests of Katarina's, like the differences between her left side and her right side. So her left side's pretty good. I'd say almost normal, right?
Yeah, it feels normal.
It feels normal, performs normal. And then her right side it's hard to quantify this, but it seems maybe about half as responsive, half as strong in the strength. So we're doing these little video tests side by side. You can see like these dramatic differences, and we're like, okay, well, clearly there are muscles controlling, this movement here. Why aren't these PTs?
And we're showing them, right? We're like,
and we're
look,
showing
and they're
them.
like, okay.
And they're like, oh, that's great.
That's it.
Okay, now we're gonna do these like stupid stretches that are completely unrelated to what we just talked about. And we're like, dude, like, what the fuck? Like, why?
I don't understand.
Why is there just require so much constant like observation and pushing and pushing and pushing? We've fired so many physical therapists at this point because they just aren't really willing to have Katarina do the work.
They all have their methodologies, and they're like, okay, you have a mess, well, let's start with my methodology.
Yeah.
And
let's just start with a lot of stretching for 50 minutes, and then you're done, and then we'll see you in a week, and we'll do the same next completely useless thing. Anyway.
And I'm sure there's like people with MS all have their weaknesses, right? Like, somebody can't hold a pencil, somebody...
They're all different.
They're all different. Somebody has wacky balance like I do. Why not design exercises around that? If you're going to work personally with a person, like individually with a person, well, then design individual program for that person.
Yeah.
It's just...
I mean, thankfully we're not just paranoid. We do have like a physical therapist friend, Jordan, who's freaking awesome, and he's an athlete also, and we have these conversations, and I'm just like, dude, why won't they have do strength training? And he's just like, well, they're afraid to do it, because of that one MS study when you're in physical therapy school showing that people overheat, so you should never have them overheat. And guess what? When you use your muscles, they produce heat. So they just basically avoid any strenuous exercise, which is insane because all the studies and data on neuro regeneration and all that stuff, guess what? It's like high intensity shit. It's like that's where the HGH, the human growth hormone, kicks on, is doing this stuff. You have to be able to do this stuff if you want to have like exercises and built around like neuroplasticity, basically, which I think you have to do if you're dealing with something like MS, where you have literally lesions in the brain, that show up in brain scans. So I don't know, it's just ridiculous, but we're talking about it. It's like, dude, like, here's the video. Her right side is weaker. So what are the 3 or 4 muscles she needs to hit hard, to maintain this? And it's just bizarre to us that we have to keep fighting for it over and over and over. I don't know, it's just weird. So that's all I got.
All right. Yeah, just
that's all you got. Yeah, so if you have any thoughts, if you've done physical therapy and you're also in the same boat, would love to know what your experience is. I mean, this isn't about hating on physical therapists. Obviously, they're great people. They want to do a good job. They want to help. But there's just kind of a disconnect between, people who have, at least in Katarina's case, somebody with MS who is willing and able and wants to get pushed to stay strong and healthy, and they're just not delivering that, So I don't know. Let us know. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe. We're gonna keep cranking these out. Have a good one.
Bye.